Next up on the town hall tonight, October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Not that you necessarily need a news hook to know that this is important stuff, especially when it comes to your finances. Over the next few weeks, the American Bankers Association is trying to reach as many people as they can with a warning about popular phishing scams that could come in an email, a text, or even a phone call. Americans lost $5.8 billion to fraud scams last year. That's an increase of more than 70% compared to 2020. We spoke with Paul Benda. He is the Senior Vice President of Operational Risk and Cybersecurity with the American Bankers Association. We asked Paul why there's been such a sudden jump and the most popular phishing scam we should be looking out for.
We had a drop in the pandemic, quite honestly. The scammers were focused on some of those CARES Act frauds. So you've heard about PPP loans or unemployment insurance. They actually went to those programs and stopped targeted individual consumers. And once that money dried up, they came back to the consumers. That text one is probably one we're seeing a lot. It really, people are used to getting those fraud alerts and your bank sends those out. And so they copy those. But what they do that your bank doesn't do is they then follow up with a phone call. And maybe they've bought your personal information on the dark web. So they might sound really legitimate. They might sound like they're from your bank. They've got your name, your date of birth, some additional details. And they'll ask you to, provide your username and password to verify it's you. And they'll try and gain access to your account.
So how can you distinguish a legitimate fraud alert and a scam? Well, here's Paul again with what is the biggest red flag.
Your bank isn't going to ask you to confirm who you are. They know who you are. They're only going to ask for that information if you've called them. So if someone calls you out of the blue or texts you or emails you and asks you to put in your username and password or ask for that one-time passcode, banks never ask that.
So we know it may be tempting to say, listen, there's nothing in my bank account worth stealing. But guess what? Scammers will absolutely take what they can get. They've gone after people for a few $100. If you do get scammed, call your bank, change all your passwords. And if you do end up losing money, Paul recommends filing a police report so there's a record of what happened.